Mr. Rice, welcome. Good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's get to that phrase unnecessary in a moment. But I guess the question to begin with is, do you have any supposition as to why prices have jumped so much today? What happened?
Well, I think people are starting to do the math. They're starting to look at the situation. And there's really just a lot of bullish indicators on natural gas macro. You mentioned storage being lower, by about 15% lower than our 5-year average. Look at the supply response. It's taking some time to catch up. And people are now just starting to see the realities of what this traditional underinvestment in traditional energy has led to. And the bright spot is that I do believe that these prices are unnecessarily high, and we can do a lot more if we're able to lower these prices and continue to provide the cheapest source of energy for Americans relative to any other place in the world.
So let's explore the comment you just made, that the prices are unnecessarily high and we can do a lot more if we're able to. That sounds like if you are allowed by government, presumably, to do more. Explain why you say prices are unnecessarily high and what is the more that you would like to be able to do?
Sure. Prices set by supply and demand. So let's look at the supply. And people should be very excited about the fact that America has the largest natural gas field in the world, the Marcellus Shale. But having that resource in Appalachia is useless in combating prices if we do not have the infrastructure needed to connect the wells that we drill to the demand areas in the rest of the country. Now, to show you how this has been challenged here in Appalachia, there's been over 7 BCF a day of pipelines that have been canceled or opposed just in the last 5 years. Now, that's about almost 10% of U.S. gas supply. So we are taking one of the biggest resources that we have, the Marcellus Shale, and it's been challenged to get that to market. And right now, as we speak, there are still pipelines that are being challenged. Mountain Valley Pipeline, which would take gas down out of the basin to the southeast, is being challenged as we speak. So we build pipelines to the north, east, south, or west, and they're being challenged. And unfortunately, that means we're selling our gas for a discount here in Appalachia. And Americans are paying unnecessarily high prices for their natural gas across the country.
And just to be clear, the challenge to those pipelines is coming from?
It's coming from a number of sources. Particularly, there's a lot of environmental pressure on these pipelines, and quite simply because these environmentalists are concerned about the carbon footprint that comes along with natural gas. But unfortunately, these people need to understand that natural gas is actually the biggest green initiative on the planet, because natural gas replaces coal, the largest source of emissions in the world. And the more natural gas we put into this world, the lower coal we burn. And it's actually the reason why the United States is the environmental leader in lowering emissions. And unleashing U.S. LNG on the world stage is the way that the United States can be a leader in lowering emissions on a world stage.